Hello, welcome to another episode of The Buyer Seller. I'm so excited to have with me today Mark Dungan. He is the VP of Employee Benefits at USI Insurance Services. Thanks for joining me today, Mark.
Absolutely. It's my pleasure.
All right, for those who may be new to the Buyer Seller podcast, this podcast is focused on giving buyers a voice at the sales training table. Our my belief is that there's so many sellers giving training to other sellers. And I just thought, why don't we hear from the buyers, the people who are getting all the prospecting? What do they think about the sales process, the sales outreach, and every other thing that happens to make a sale possible? So here we are today, and I'm excited to hear and learn from you, Mark, based on your experience. So without further ado, I'm going to jump right into my first question. So, as VP of Employee Benefits at USI Insurance, what solutions are people typically trying to sell to you?
So typically, I get a number of
Oh,
requests
sorry.
for. Go
Sorry,
ahead.
Mark. Sorry, my apologies. I have to start by allowing you the space to introduce yourself and what you do
Oh
before.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
I'm too
Yeah.
excited.
No, absolutely. So, yes, to back up and kind of give a background of what it is that I do. So, I am an insurance broker, and I work with nonprofit organizations in the New York metro area to help them as a consultant on their employee sponsored health plans, as well as their entire employee benefit package. So, that's really the role that I'm playing. And so in that role, I get a lot of requests or sales pitches from organizations that are doing event planning. They'll offer to host a conference or an event, or tailor a lunch, like a lunch and learn. I get pharmacy benefit managers will also be reaching out to me as well. So pharmacy benefit managers are working with pharmaceutical manufacturers to reduce costs on pharmacy claims for organizations. So I'll have a lot of different pharmacy benefit managers reaching out to me to try and teach me about their business and how they could help potentially save my clients money on their prescription drugs. And then I also get a lot of reach out from executive coaches. So individuals that want to have my business in terms of becoming my job coach and helping me look for executive or moving into the C-suite site roles. So, I also get a lot of HR tech reach out as well. With my title being VP of Employee Benefits, there's a lot of folks I work in HR, and so I'll have a lot of people reaching out to me
Yeah.
for HR technology solutions, recruiting solutions. So I get a lot of different requests for different products and solutions. Usually, mostly from LinkedIn,
Mhm.
email, and I'll get some phone calls as well.
Okay. You mentioned an interesting point. A lot of times when you're, a salesperson and you're doing your lists on LinkedIn,
Mhm.
you have these titles in your head and you're like employee benefits, HR, and
Yeah.
and I mean, from my understanding, your job is more sales than people.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Yeah, no, my job is finding new business for the organization. So building new relationships with new organizations and presenting how USI can be supporting them in their employee benefit role. So but yeah, I do get a lot of reach out from sellers because they want access to my clients. People know that insurance brokers have a book of business and clients, and so they reach out to me in hopes of getting to my client and helping me. I can be seen as an advisor and as a trusted source for some organizations. So a lot of sellers would try to sell me, and so that I will sell to my clients their product.
All right, so the next question kind of follows on this. You're getting all these different people reaching out to you. Is there anyone that stands out? And what made it stand out for you?
Um, so I would say, um, I typically anything that's in a message form, so like an email or a LinkedIn request, I generally don't respond to or read. Now, someone's trying to call me right now, probably. Uh, on the phone, if you can get me on the phone, I had a sales rep a couple weeks ago, um, that got me on the phone, and it was my first time speaking to him, and he had a good approach, where he started off the call saying, I know you weren't expecting my call. I'm kind of out of the blue, and got right to the point, of what he was trying to do, and seemed what he knew what he was talking about.
Mhm.
I think being prepared, and you know, if you do reach out on the phone and get someone on the phone, those first 5 to 10 seconds are really crucial. If you're able to kind of take the pressure off the person on the phone, which he did, and then get to the point very quickly. I find that to be can be very effective in getting meetings, but it's easier said than done.
When you started by saying text based, I was expecting to say, oh, I often prefer that. So I was taken aback when you said I don't read. I'm like, okay, you're one in because most people are like, no, send me an email, don't call me in the middle of the day, take my number off your list.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, I don't like getting emails with just a huge product pitch, explanation. It's there's just like 4 or 5 paragraphs. I just don't want to spend the time to read it. And I think if this person is really serious about meeting with me and selling to me, they'll call me and leave me a voicemail, or take a
um,
different approach. I just when you come out of the gate and it's just hey, how are you? Did you know? And then the entire product pitch is just kind of like it's I'm not going to spend a lot of time or take those messages very seriously. I'm just not. But everyone's different. Some people do like the email or the
yeah.
text, you know, and that's part of knowing your audience too, and
Mhm.
using as many different means of communication, as you can, because you never know what someone's going to respond to. Whether they may respond better to an email, a phone call, a letter in the mail. You just don't know.
Right. Hmm. You mentioned letter in the mail, which I don't know if that's very common these days.
Yeah,
Especially among the industry where I work is SaaS and tech and all of
yeah.
that good stuff. I don't know if that's still popular, but I hear some people say it works. So it just it's a good segue to my next question. What's one powerful medium that you feel like salespeople are underutilizing?
It's a good question. I remember thinking about that. I think this will sound odd, but I think LinkedIn is a great sales
Hmm.
tool, and it's not that folks are underutilizing it. It's just the way that they're using it is um, not good. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, where on LinkedIn, it's probably where I get the most sales messages from. And again, if someone reaches out to me and I have to read their entire pitch, in a message, and I just find that approach. I just don't spend the time and look at it. And whereas I've had a lot of success, on meeting people and getting in front of the people that I want to talk to by messaging on LinkedIn, but I take just a very soft approach, where
Yeah.
I'm not when I connect with somebody, I'm not sending them any like anything really about even what I do. I'm just really saying, hey, it's great to have you as a connection, and and I speak to what LinkedIn is about, which is about networking. And I ask people if they want to network and, see if there's any way we can help each other in our professional careers. And I get a lot more responses that way from folks that reach out with, their entire sales pitch. Because it's just, to me, when you come across that way, it's just you're starting the relationship out here. I'm trying to sell you this, which helps me, and it's very rarely is anything seem to be that they care about me as the buyer or what my goals and challenges are in my role. It just comes across very, I don't want to say lazy, but just very me focused, and just
Yeah.
someone. I don't want to work with somebody that is just trying to only care about selling and making their metrics and their numbers. I want to work with somebody that seems to care about their profession, seems to be curious about the challenges that I'm facing and what they can be doing to help me. Those are the types of people I want to that I give time to.
Interesting. I really like that. I mean, what LinkedIn is about, network and um, helping each other out. I can see that being something that people would respond to. Um,
Yeah, and
and this makes sense.
yeah, in my role, the person at the organization that is, technically my buyer, it could be a couple of different people, and sometimes it's
Mhm.
HR, sometimes it's finance, sometimes it's operations. And so if I may reach out to a person and think, okay, this is the exact person I need to be pitching to and giving my product to, but they may not be. And so if you just come in with that very soft approach, you can have a conversation, and then things can become more organic. Like, oh, I don't really handle the employee benefits, or I do, but we're not looking at anything now. It just becomes a much more organic conversation. Whereas if you just come after somebody with your pitch, they may not be doing anything with employee benefits, or what you're are trying to sell, and so it's fallen on deaf ears, and it's wasted time and energy. So again, everyone has their approach, and that for me has worked a lot better.
Yeah, more and more people are advocating for that human side to selling. So,
Yeah, I mean, people will buy from people they like, and
mhm,
if you start off a relationship with someone where you're asking them for 15 minutes, asking them to hear about your product, and you're not taking the approach of, how can I be helping you? What are your challenges in your role? What's keeping you up at night? How can I be a help? It's just you're starting off your relationship in a much better spot. Whereas if you're just coming in and seem to be only me focused, people are not going to like that. They're not going to like you, and they're not going to buy whatever it is you're offering.
true. All right. So, Mark, as a leader who is often having to sell your ideas internally to your colleagues, what approach do you find yourself leaning towards to get your ideas across?
Great question. So I work best in a team and collaboration. And so my day to day is not really trying to sell my ideas or so thoughts to my coworkers. It's really to get um, uh, collaboration and come up with the best idea, or the best approach to whatever challenge it is that we're facing. And so when we have our meetings, and it's like, so for example, we're meeting, we're going to be in the sales team, we're going to a conference tomorrow, and we've had three different meetings with everyone that's attending the conference. And this is something that's a conference that I found and am sponsoring and brought these other folks into. But as we're talking about how we want to handle the booth, and how there's a panel opportunity, and how we're going to work the conference, I like having team collaboration, and hearing other people's inputs, thoughts, and ideas, because part of something I'm trying to improve on is I'm a self-doubter. I'm always doubting myself and my ideas. And so I work in a team and you're collaborating. It really helps with my self-doubt because I'm speaking out what I'm doing, what I'm thinking, and then I get validated by my team members, or they have a different approach that's better. So, to answer your question, I think the best way to sell your ideas is really just to be a good team member and be open to other people's ideas, and don't fear to speak what your thoughts are as well and what you may be doing different, and just really focus on being a good team member, and then your team members around you will respond to that, and you'll find that working in that team collaboration, you'll be coming up with the best ideas and the best solutions to whatever challenges you're facing in your role.
Amazing. I like that. I like the way you captured it, focus on, so it's like focusing on the team winning, and it's not really about
Yeah,
your agenda.
yeah,
Everything is about that um team, team success.
yeah. No, absolutely. And I'm certainly not the smartest person in the room, so I don't want everyone just buying into my ideas. We wouldn't be good for everyone. So
Yeah. Okay, all right. So we're coming up to the end of this chat, and I was just curious to know if you have any final thoughts that you feel like I really need to chip this in before we call it a day.
yeah, I think just as a general thought that I have is when we're thinking about selling, I just I and this is again, there's so many different ways to approach sales. But for me, what's been most helpful is really trying to get in the shoes of the person that you're selling to, and try to understand what their job is, what their challenges are, and how you can be helping them. Because kind of like I said, people buy from people that they like, and if you come in with an approach and you seem to have an understanding of the issues that they're facing in their job, the challenges they're facing, and you take an approach where you're speaking and using your solution as a way to help them in their job and their role, and for them to be successful, it's gonna serve you much better in the long run. Whereas coming in and just immediately give me 15 minutes, let me show you what we do, and not really considering what the person's job is, what their role is, what their day-to-day challenges are, what they're trying to accomplish. If you're not thinking about that, you're going to have a hard time finding good solutions for your prospective clients, and you're going to have trouble selling those solutions.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much for your time and the insights that you've shared. For me, in summary, it's just about, being human with it. Even, when we talked about your team, thinking about that team success, and then again with the prospects, thinking about their success and how you can contribute to that with whatever you're proposing. And I've even heard people go as far as saying, if you have that conversation and you find that you're not the best solution, be good enough of a human to say, I think I know a solution that would fit your budget or your, where you are on this journey, and
Yeah,
pointing them in that direction. So
absolutely. Absolutely. Well
thank
said.
you.